All right, everybody, welcome back to Matt to the Rural Country Farmer. Today is Tuesday, March the 11th, and I'm out here in front of our number one Massey Ferguson 90. You see it says number one on there. I decided to stop working on it for a little bit, and I wanted to give you guys a backstory on this tractor, as I know you guys have been waiting for a backstory on it, and you guys have been waiting for me to tell you guys a story of how we got this tractor and what it's currently right now. I've still got the cement bowl off of it right now, but I just want to give you guys a little history on this tractor and what it's been through all of its life. And a few farmers owned this tractor before we bought it, and it was sold for like 2 to 3 times. Basically, this tractor's had one of the roughest lives I've ever seen given to an old 90 tractor, basically. And this 90, it was bought in 1989. My dad bought it in the early 80s, 90s, right before they got married. And this tractor's been around on the farm a lot, basically. And it's going to need a new tire at some point, I'm not sure. But before this thing, it had a rough life. A guy was using it for mowing his pastures with it, and he couldn't get it started, so he just gave up on it, and it was sold again. Then the other owner bought it, and he used it for a little while, and he sold it, and then it got sold again, and then it was taken up to Monmouth, where my dad bought it. He bought it from Painter Ford Equipment, which is kind of rare to see a 90 in a Ford dealership, which is kind of weird. I don't understand why it was in Monmouth and why it was at Painter Ford in the first place. But all right, continuing the story, my dad bought it. This thing would not run this thing ran good when he first bought it, and then it had issues. It would not run. It wasn't like this when we bought it. It was in bad shape when we bought it. It had the engine was basically stuck at one point. It was not turning over like now it turns over, but back then the engine was stuck on this. And my dad, he poured some oil in the cylinders and got the engine unstuck. This tractor was used for years on this farm, and so my dad poured some oil in it. He did a little work to it and got it running again. It wasn't running great at that point, but it ran. So, and then we used this thing a lot. Basically, our pal Donnie Whistler, which he's passed away now, but we used to come over and cut his alfalfa for him, and this tractor was always good about doing that, and it got used a lot. Let me tell you, for that rake, that Siga mower, our hay conditioner, our baler, and this tractor has planted a lot of grounds. We planted that alfalfa patch there years ago. That was originally a garden, basically, and then we turned it into basically what it's known now as basically an alfalfa patch, which we planted years ago. And this tractor's done that too, basically. So it's done a lot, let me tell you that. It's ran that round baler back there, which is a new idea, and it's got 4 hydraulic hoses on it. So it does a lot for what we need it to, and it's got a loader, which is fantastic for moving stuff around. Basically, I use that loader all the time on this tractor, and it never gave me any problems. But again, we use this tractor a lot. Baled, and then Donnie said he was going to cut his own hay, and then we after that, then the Massey was just used for like a plowing tractor. Basically, we used it for plowing an alfalfa patch, and then we used it at one point for tilling that garden up out there, which you guys are currently seeing now. So, a little more backstory to it. It had to have a new manifold at some point, and it got a new manifold. We got the original carburetor on it now, as you can see. We bought in a rebuilt carburetor. It was like $300. and we put that on there. Still didn't have any luck. This tractor ran good. Like always on the first push of the button, it would start right up like every single time. I learned that when I done work with this tractor, I always knew it was going to start. Then we got, oh boy, now this is where this backstory turns. My dad brought the wrong points for it. This is where this story gets out of control. My dad brought the wrong points for it. Basically, they were 6.0 points, and they were not the right points for this tractor. Basically, this tractor, it was a 6-volt at one point. Then we converted it to 12-volt. My dad got the wrong points for it, and it screwed up the distributor at one point and knocked the tractor out of time. It was smoking there was like black smoke coming out of that pipe, and it was backfiring a lot. So, and then we had to put brand new spark plugs in it. The tractor quit running in 2015 after all of that, and when I got older, I decided, well, I'm going to get this thing back up and running, and where we can drive it, use it, that kind of stuff. So, so that's what I did. I started getting to work on it, and sure enough, this was when Duncanville was on television, and I was like, you know what? So after Duncanville was off television, after they got done with the episode, I came out here, work on this tractor, like every time Duncanville got over with, I came out here, work on this tractor like the best I could. So I got into work on it. I gotten the plug wires in the right order. I fixed this tractor up like it's supposed to. This tractor's had a rough life over its past 15 years whenever it was last used. So we got it running a few times, but it wasn't running great. It always would splutter. Sometimes it wouldn't stay running. And then you'd have to choke it, throttle it again, start it again. This tractor gave us a lot of problems, but I did use it quite a bit when it was running. And then 1 year ago, I was actually going to move a chain harrow. Basically, I had the chain harrow hooked up, and this thing broke down right when I was going to turn around. I was going to pull out. It broke down, and it would not start again. So then we had to take the truck, and we knew the battery was flat, so we drawn it up there. This was before we had that generator put on. This tractor was not handy to use when we didn't have that generator on it, so I'm just happy we got that generator on there and it's working now, and at least now it's charging the battery like it should. That generator was actually off at 165 at one point, so we got the battery charged up, got it in the shed, and this is where it sits now. So we put the original points, we put the new points in there, 12-volt points, got the right points, set the gap. We put the new spark plug wires in it. Right now, it's currently got the ones in it now, the original ones. But sooner down the road, I'm gonna get some brand new spark plug wires for it soon enough, and I'll as soon as I get this fuel system problem figured out, we might be able to get this thing running and driving and running like it should. Maybe in my next video, I might actually get this thing running and driving again, which would be awesome to hear this thing. This thing always ran really good, and it's been a good tractor. The only thing it really needs to fix is that water pump. It kind of wiggles around a lot. I need to get that fixed. It's kind of got a bearing out. That's not a big deal to fix on this. I think that carburetor is probably going to need to be adjusted at some point. Right now, it's currently a tractor actually set itself to its original position, so it knew where it had to go. So that's awesome. I'm very happy about that. So once we get this fuel system problem figured out, I actually got a brand new cinnamon bowl we're going to put on in our next video and get this thing running. So then this tractor's had a lot of history. It's brought me a lot of crazy moments, but let me tell you what, she's a good old 90. I tell you that. We got this one, and we got that diesel tractor, which was bought in Carthage. And this thing, it's amazing, let me tell you. I just want to give you guys a backstory on it. I thought it'd be interesting to share that story with you. And again, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll get back to work on this tractor as soon as possible.